Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We will now look at the Tawaruq contract because our main objective here to discuss about the benefit of riba is to see whether or not the Tawaruq contract resemble riba or not. Because Tawaruq contract in Malaysia is very, very dominant. After the demise of Bay Al-Ina, most of the banking product migrated into the Tawaruq space. We got Tawaruq deposit, Tawaruq financing, and so the so-called innovation or the migration of the Islamic debt instrument from Bay Al-Ina or from BBA to Tawaruq must require, a strong oversight from the Islamic finance stakeholders. Of course, the academia should be the forum to look into this issue. Of course, the bank themselves, they are doing business and they want their business to do well. And the Islamic banking is still driven by the deposit funding system. It is based on leverage. So the Murabaha or the Tawaruq is funded by deposit fund. And deposit funds are leverage funds that require bank to hold sufficient capital against any financing funded by deposit. Right? So if the financing is a risky financing, then the bank must hold more capital against that exposure. So the risk appetite of the bank will be controlled by the size of their capital and how much risk the bank is able to tolerate. That will depend on their capital standing. And as we know that Al-Bay' is a contract of risk, because Al-Bay', the contract of Al-Bay' does not provide certainty in the outcome of the contract compared to riba, where the outcome of the contract is known for sure. That in the deposit contract, in the riba deposit contract, we see that the depositor will be able to redeem their deposit in full plus interest. And for bank loan, the bank is able to recover the loan plus interest at maturity. So there is complete certainty about the outcome of the riba contract. Whereas in Al-Bay', that's not true. But the Tawaruq contract, which is claimed to be based on Al-Bay', has been able to show that the outcome of the Tawaruq contract is similar to the outcome of the riba contract. That is, the outcome of profit from Tawaruq is known with certainty. That is, the contract of Tawaruq, financing, for example, guarantee liquidity or cash extended to customer from CPO buy and sell contract. Right? So, meaning that the contract of Tawaruq will guarantee that the customer will be able to acquire the liquidity that they desire from the lending party, that is the bank, and the bank will be able to recover the liquidity in full at maturity plus profit. So it is very similar to the interest-bearing loan contract. So, for example, the Tawaruq facility is $100,000 with profit rate of 5% per annum and tenure of 5 years. Then the bank profit will will be able to fix upfront, like the interest-bearing loan, where the finance charge, can be set upfront. So the Islamic banking finance charge will be 100,000 times 5% times 5 years. So that will be 25,000. So at the end of the maturity, or at the end of the tenure of 5 years, the borrowing customer must settle the debt obligation of 100,000 facility plus 25,000 of profit, and that is equal to 125,000. So we will see that the customer must settle the debt obligation. Otherwise, like the interest-bearing loan, there will be litigation against any defaulting customer. Litigation and eventually bankruptcy if the customer is still unable to settle his debt with the bank. And when we look at the deposit, or the Tawaruq deposit, outcome of Tawaruq deposit is known with certainty. That is, contract of Tawaruq guaranteed deposit placement and profit on the placement. So for example, the deposit placement FD, for example, 100,000 with 3% per annum profit rate, tenure, the maturity of 3 years. So the profit from this Tawaruq contract will be 100,000 times 3% times 3 years. That will be 9,000. And the deposit redemption at maturity will be 109,000. So the depositor, the Tawaruq depositor, will be able to obtain the full deposit placement of 100,000 plus the $9,000 of profit from the placement. So we can see here that the Riba loan and Tawaruq finance, since Tawaruq financing provide certainty in the outcome of the contract, like the Riba loan, so we can safely say that both defy the legal maxim al-gharam bi ghunni, that is, profit is accompanied with losses, right? The no pay, no gain principle in ordinary business is rejected by both Riba loans and Tawaruq financing. So this is a disturbing situation for Islamic finance. And we can see that the cause and effect of Riba loans and Tawaruq are very similar. Both provide certainty of profit and the capital investment. While the former, that is the Riba loan, is haram, the latter, that is the Tawaruq finance, is claimed as halal. Indeed, it is an Islamic finance paradox, right? Something needs to be done here to clear the air, because when Riba is haram, we can say that Riba is haram because it is unjust, it is exploitative, it is causing economic volatility, it is causing fragility, it is enhancing income inequality. So there is a lot of injustice in the Riba system. But then when we look at the Tawaruq system that provide the same benefits as Riba, then the Tawaruq is claimed as halal, right? The same effect of Riba, which is unfair, which is manipulative, which is exploitation. Now that same benefit is claimed as halal in Islamic finance. So this is a very disturbing development, and something must be done to remedy. Otherwise, Islamic finance is putting Muslim in shame, right? They are smearing the image of Islam, and it is not just my claim, but this is an observation that has been, manifested by many observers. So the academia, the consumer group, and so something needs to be done here in order to ensure that whatever is claimed to be Sharia compliant or Islamic must show true color or true label. Otherwise, it will put Islam to shame. Indeed, right? There is a paradox in Islamic finance. Then those stakeholders responsible must take note so that this weak oversight can be overcome soon as possible. Thank you guys. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.